Hi, my name is Susan Brown. This is a message for Lauren Powell Jobs and the Emerson Collective and the Earth Alliance. It's Thursday, March 26, 2020, and I'm recording this message from Zurich, Switzerland, in the middle of Europe, where I live. I was born and raised in California and spent 20 years in Silicon Valley, personally inspired by Steve Jobs himself. And I have a very important message to deliver to you. First, I want to tell you how much I love and appreciate all that Steve was, is, and stood for. He changed my life like no one ever has. And it is because of him that I have something to share with you, some very powerful inventions that I would like to get out into the world now that it's needed more than ever, the power to be your best. That was Steve's driving force, driving passion, was empowerment. And I've discovered something in the past 2 years that I've been working on quietly, filing patents worldwide to get ready for today and to find people who are ready for it. But first, I just want to tell you how much Steve meant to me, and then you might be able to really hear what it is that I am seeking your collaboration on. Steve first touched my heart in 1983. I was in Hawaii with my boyfriend, who worked for Apple at the Apple Sales Conference in Waikiki. It was 1983, and I was only 19 at the time. But that day profoundly changed my life and who I am. The 1984 commercial, the computer, the Macintosh, and of course Steve himself. It just was the most empowering moment ever. I knew he could see the future. I knew he was pulling it through with that invention. And of course I wanted to work for him. And so I came home and I changed my degrees to study electrical engineering and computer science. And 6 years later I had both from Cal Berkeley. And I got hired by Apple Computer. Now Steve had left already by then, but he's a powerful source, and I could still feel the value of him flowing through that company. And I got tasked with designing twisted pair Ethernet. And by 1991, I had designed the first solution for the Apple Macintosh motherboards and printers. Since then, I've done plenty of things in Silicon Valley. You can check out my CV and some of the other videos below to hear more about my record and why I am ready to do what I am about to share with you, and why I would like to do it with you. Of all people, you know Steve, and you can hear the call to help me. I feel like he's actually been working with me. I've been meditating now for about 2 years and receiving inventions. And yeah, they make me cry because they're so uplifting. I cry tears of joy, especially now when the world is crying and in pain. And in the weeks and months to come, I know for many it will get worse. The U.S. is just at the very beginning of this crisis that will hit them biologically and economically. And my inventions are needed more than ever. And so I'm looking for people who can, have the ears to hear and the heart to feel what it is that I have. So with no further ado, I discovered how to measure human alignment, human resonance, human coherency. When a human is connected to their core, to their true self, they are flowing, literally in the flow. That's what athletes call it, or in the zone. Anyone who's achieved peak performance knows what I'm talking about. When you're there, your whole body is choreographed in the most coherent and elegant way. You become a top performer. If you're an athlete, you become a winner and you break records. If you're an artist, you create masterpieces. If you're a musician, you write classics that hit the top records. If you're Steve Jobs, you invent things like the Macintosh and iTunes and the iPod and Apple stores. I mean, you can see the future. You can see the win-win elegance, the abundance. You become an incredibly valuable person. Not only productive and efficient and all that good stuff that we measure, but you become a loving person, a compassionate person. You're overflowing, you're full, you've got a lot to give. And you can help humanity, but you gotta help yourself first. You've gotta connect to your own power first. And that's what I figured out how to measure, and I filed over 20 patents on wearable devices. It could be a necklace, it could be a ring, earrings, glasses, a hat, clothes, anything. And it's a combination of measurements, everything from your heart, like literally the magnetic field of your heart. Are you in a resonant, loving, full state? Or are you in fear, where you have no value and no love? Or what are your thoughts? Are you thinking empowered thoughts of your value and your potential? Or are you being negative? I can measure this. Your brain, your heart, your skin, a number of ways. And this is to give people the tools to find the sweet spot in who they are and the value inside, the intrinsic value. And when they do, a token is created. It's like a game to mine yourself. Instead of Bitcoins, you're going to mine yourself, your own token, your token that represents you in your full power, when you have calibrated to the best version of you. Because if you want to save the planet, you got to save the humans first. Not really save them, but give them a way to save themselves. And right now, they are going to need a new way, because the money out there isn't going to save them. The money, especially the dollar and many government-backed currencies that are being, printed for nothing right now, are going to start losing their value. As of today, March 26th, the U.S. government and the Federal Reserve has reduced the reserve limits to zero. Banks don't need to have a single dollar on reserve right now. They can just loan out money like there's no tomorrow. And the overnight interest rate between banks has also been reduced to zero. And as you know, trillions of dollars are being, printed, not even printed, you just go to a keyboard and you create them digitally out of nothing. And then they'll, go out to all those different groups that are in desperate need of some kind of currency to stay afloat or to stay alive. But what are you going to do when the actual dollar starts going down in value and can't hold its value? Because what is its value? It's just backed by debt, and it's being printed for nothing. So in the near future, if not, in the distant future, the dollar can't hold its value. Not when you're just, going through hyperinflation. So people need something new, a new way to measure their self-worth and find it inside, because they are the value. They just forgot. And if you will collaborate with me, we can show people how to teach themselves where their value comes from. It's inside, and it's very closely tied to their heart. And when they go there, they will discover something worth a whole lot more than money. And, maybe you can't eat it right now, but the most important thing right now is to give people hope and a pathway to find hope. And just beyond that is, belief in themselves and some relief, and eventually some happiness and some clarity and some passion and some purpose. I mean, it was Steve who said, we're all naked, so we might as well follow our heart. So, yeah, I absolutely agree with that. And of all the people who would understand what I'm doing and what I'm bringing, it would be Steve Jobs if he were alive today. He would get this, because it's not about, saving people. It's about giving them the tools to save themselves. I have so many inventions I wish to share with you. I really don't need a lot of money. I just need good partnerships with some steady funding to make progress on this and get it out there. I'm looking to people like you, because I think you really understand the importance in empowering people, truly empowering them to transform their own lives. And together, we can help people find that inside themselves. And when you do, it solves itself. It really does. So please, if this message resonates with you at all, just call me back, write me. Let's have a live conversation so I can tell you more. Because this also really helps journalism as well. There's a new way using these inventions on how to measure content for its authenticity, for its value, for its win-win potential. Yeah, I'll tell you more about that. And all of these inventions, all of my intellectual property and all of my shares, I have decided to put them into a foundation called the Mother Tree Foundation. And when users play this game and measure themselves and tokens are created, they are backed by the Mother Tree Foundation and thereby become the owners of the for-profit, and they have voting rights as well. I do this to give empowerment to people, to incentivize them, to lead this project, to be self-realized and be the guides. Not have it be up to me or the investors or a board of directors, but the ones who figure this out are the ones who will ultimately run the show and have all the power. That's how it should be. So I've done a lot of things to get this ready. Now I just need, the next partnerships to bring it out. So please write me back. Let me know you got the message, and I'll speak with you soon.